Now, the next under our overhead, right? Under the activity base is goes inward, right? You can see it goes inward, right? Goes inward, right? Goes inward. Now, you can see that goes inward. You can see it that goes inward is not based on components. Is not based on hours. It's based on the numbers of components. So you quickly go and check how many numbers of components did they do, right? What is the numbers of components, right? Now, you match it based on what is given to you in the question, class. Now, it's based on components, right? We'll go back. Let's quickly check. I said you should screenshot that part, right? Okay, let's quickly check. Quickly, what do we have? Quickly, based on what components? You can see the first one is 15 components. The second one is 25. The next one is what? 120 what? Component, because they want to know the cost of each of the what? Of each of the goods inward using the what? In the production. 15. Please take note of that. So we multiply it, right? So we go there. Okay, come. So we multiply it, 15. The first one is 15. So one component will cost 17,500, right? 17,500, right? So if one component costs 17,500, so what is the cost of 15 components, class? Multiply it. What do you have? What is the cost of 15 components? Quickly.
262 500,000. 262 500.
262 500.
Okay, 262 500, right? Now, next, what is the numbers of what is the components? Numbers of components for beta. Quickly, what is the numbers of components for beta?
25.
Thank you. 25. 25. My system is hanging. Okay, 25, right? Okay. 25 times, what do we have? Class.
17,500.
17,500.
You are there. I purposely asked 17,500, right? So what do we have?
437,500.
437,500, right? So next, what do we have next? Quickly.
125.
120.
Okay,
Okay,
120 times 17,500, right? What do we have?
2,100,000.
2,100,000. 2,100,000, right? So next, what is the next cost? Packaging, right? This thing can actually consume time, but it's fine. Okay, packaging, right? So what is the numbers of packaging? You can see that there is even based on production order, right? So what is the production order there? What is the production order? What is the production order, class? Hello, what is the production order?
40,000.
40,000,
Okay,
sir.
40,000 times 40,000 times, okay, this 40,000 naira, right? 40,000 naira, right? So what do we have? Please, that is why it is good for you to get your material, right? It is not because of the money you want to pay, right? It's just because of what the value there, right? We will not need to be going up and down for
Please,
figures.
16.
What do we have?
Sorry, sir. Is it not supposed to be 15?
1,600,000.
What do we have?
1,600,000.
1,600,000.
Sorry, sir. Is it not supposed to be 15? Is it 40?
check the packaging. How many? It is based on production runs. What is it given in the question now?
It's 15 now. We have 15, sir.
Where did this? Okay, it's 15 now. It's okay. Production runs now. This is production runs. Is it not based on production runs or production order? Okay, it's based on
It's
let me
production
check.
order.
Okay, production order. Oh, production order is 15 now. Where did you see 40? Class.
Production
Where did you see
order
40?
15. So that is 600,000.
Production order 15, right? That is what?
Yes, 600,000.
Okay, 600,000. Okay, next. What is the numbers of production order for the packaging? Order, or check production order for each of the products, class.
So it's 400,000. 10 times 40,000.
The next one is 10, Abby.
Yes, times 40,000.
Okay, okay. Thank you. What do we have?
400,000.
What next? What do we have?
25.
25 times
25.
40,000.
Okay. 25, right? What do we have? Figure.
Yes.
1 million.
1 million.
Okay. 1 million. Lastly, what is the overhead? My system is so what is the last this thing there? Engineering, right? Engineering is based on production orders. The same thing. Engineering is based on production order, which is still the same thing with engineering. So engineering is based on production order, which is still the same thing. 40. Oh,
That is
36,000, right?
yes, 36,000.
Okay.
540,000.
That is 540.
540. 540,000. So what next do we have? What is the okay? It's still the same thing now. That is 10. It's based on production runs, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
36,000. So
That
what do we
production
have?
orders. Production orders.
360,000.
360.
10. 10.
360. Next, what do we have? 25.
900,000.
Thank you so much. 900,000, right? So, and that is it, right? So we've gotten the cost of each of the overhead. Is that not so? Now, you can see that we've already know this is the cost for each of the products. Is that not so? Now, don't forget that we already know our direct material cost. The direct material will still remain the same. The direct labor cost will still remain the same. Don't forget that we want to determine the unit cost. Is that not so? So all these direct material costs, the direct material cost, direct labor cost will still remain the same. The only thing that will change is your overhead cost, right? Of which we've already determined the overhead cost, right? The overhead what? The overhead cost, class. So the next thing is to tabulate it and say, oh, determination of what? Determination of unit cost using activity based. Don't write it ABC. Activity based costing, right? Activity based costing. Is that not so? So in this case, you can have You can have your alpha, right? Beta and gamma, right? So we bring our direct material cost still remain the same, right? The direct material cost still remain the same. Direct material, direct labor cost did not change, will not change, right? The only thing that will change is your what? Is your overhead what? Is your overhead cost, class. Don't forget all this. It's very what? It's very important. Don't forget that it's unit cost of the product, right? You want to determine unit cost of the product using activity-based costing. So now you bring in your overhead cost, your what? Your overhead cost, overhead. So what is the overhead cost? You bring it. The first one is class. What will be the overhead cost? Okay, now let's total this. Let's give it total. Total overhead cost. Class, what is the total? Please give me the total. Give me the total cost. What is the total cost? Class, total it. What is the total cost?
For alpha,
Yeah.
we have
What is the alpha?
6,037,000.
Alpha
6
is
million.
5,329,000.
I don't understand. I'm confused. Please check again now, please. Time is going, please. Please figure.
6,077,500.
6 million what? 077
500.
500. Please, next figure, please. Next figure, please. Class, what is the next figure, please?
Four million
Hello.
922,500.
Okay.
4,922,500, correct.
500, right? So next,
6
class, next,
million.
quickly.
6
Okay, 6
million.
million. Good. Thank you so much. 6 million. So if that is established, class, you can see the way we are doing our workings, right? You can see the steps we are using to do our workings, right? You determine your overhead cost first. Once you determine your overhead cost, you know your direct material cost as well, direct labor cost as well. Then you cannot bring it in. Then you divide it by the unit produced so that you can get the cost of each of the products. This is not a magic, right? It is not magic, right? If you don't practice what? Practice make perfection, right? So 6 million 07500, right? Right. So what next? What do we have here? Next. Okay, this is 4 million, sorry, 922,500. The next is 6 million plus 6 million. So what is the total costs slash full cost class? What do we have? What is the total cost slash full cost? Hello?
Hello?
The first one is 31,077,500. 31,077,500.
Okay. 31 million
077,500.
777
077,500. 31
okay
million 77,500.
31,077,000
77,500.
Zero.
077,500.
okay, thank you. 500. Okay, what do we have here?
17,422,500.
17
Yes, 422,500.
17,422
500.
500. Okay, next.
8.9 million.
Thank you so much. 8.9 million. So if this is established, right, and this is your A, is that also A? A, right? This is what? This is A. Is that also? So now, what will be your unit? Unit produced. What is the unit produced? This one is B. What is the unit produced?
20,000.
20,000 units.
20,000 units. 20,000 units. Right. Next, what is the unit produced?
12,500 units.
12,500 units. What is the unit produced?
5,000 units.
5,000 units. Class, divide it. What do you have? Divide them. What is the cost?
For
What is the
Alpha,
unit?
we have 1,553 naira point 88.
Okay. 5,000
1,553
553. 553.
0.88
Okay. 0.8, 0.9 per what? Per unit, right?
per unit, yes. For
What do you have
Greater,
next?
1,393
1,393,
0.8.
right?
Yes,
0.8 per what? Per unit.
yes,
Next,
sir. For the last one,
1,780 units per
1,780
unit.
per unit.
1,780 naira per what?
Per
Per
unit.
unit, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
you can see this is the unit cost, right? Class, are we still together, please? This is the what? This is the unit cost. Please unmute your mic if you are confused before we move further. Please unmute your mic if you are confused. Question, please.
APC mi kò lè bá fún ìyẹn ṣiṣẹ́.
Okay, ask your question. Let's move on.
Okay, good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Okay, sir, please, I was lost when we are computing the overhead, the machine hour. If you can screw your system, upward, the machine hours. Sorry. Okay, this machine hours. Why do you compute the machine hours in before using it the overhead? Why do you not go straight like you use the other ones?
No, now see the machine hours is based on 4 naira per hours. 4 naira per machine
45.
hours. How many
Okay.
hours did they use? Do you get per machine
I don't.
hours?
Okay.
Is that not so? But what is given to you in the question is 5 hours per unit,
Okay.
right? 5 hours. So what is the total numbers of hours that you will use to produce 20,000 units? Is 100 hours. Then you now multiply so that you get the total cost. Another ways you can use in doing this, you can decide that, oh, you don't want to go through all this stress. You can use your 5 hours per unit times 45 naira per machine hours. Fine. What it means is that at the end, you will not need to divide it by the units produced. You can multiply all these things by units, by units, by units, by units, by units. So which means that at the end, you don't need to divide. But that one will give you headache somehow. But that is why I say, oh, okay, why will you multiply it by 5 hours per unit? They tell you, see, they give you 45 hours, 45 naira per hours. You need to get
Mm-hmm.
the numbers of hours that you will use in producing that particular product. and you have 5 hours per unit. 5 hours per unit cannot go with 5 naira per hour. No, now 5 hours per unit will go with what unit produce. 5 hours per unit will go with what unit. Now you need to know the total numbers of hours. When you know the total numbers of hours, you cannot do what? You multiply to get the cost.
Okay, sir.
Do you
Thank you, sir.
understand? Do you
Yes,
understand?
thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
You understand, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now, if that is established, right, we've determined the unit cost, right? This is just 10 marks, right? Now, the next one is, the next requirement say that compute the expected sales price for the 3 products and the profit. So we need to determine the profit that will arise from the what? From the implementation of ABC costing approach. So we need to determine the profit statement. Class, don't forget that when you want to determine profit, your sales is already given to you in the question. Just use your sales minus your cost, minus all your costs, will give you profit. Class, your sales minus all your costs will give you what? Class, will give you profit. Now, the question now is that the sales that is being given is based on probability. Now, when you are given, I will repeat this thing again. When you are given a probability in a question that attached to sales, calculate expected sales. When it is your probability attached to cost, like variable cost or fixed cost, use it to calculate the what? Expected fixed cost or expected variable cost. No, so now you need to determine the expected sales because there is a probability that alpha will sell 2000, 0.6, 0.3. So what you need to do is that you multiply 0.6 times 2000 plus 0.3 times 2200 plus 0.1 times 2300. Addition of these three will give you your what? Expected sales. You do the same thing with this. So now let me quickly copy this so that we'll be fast. Let's determine the sales first because we need to determine sales. The question says that using absorption costing and traditional approach. Wow. Interesting. So let's get the let's get the what is it called first? Let's get the expected sales. Let's get the expected sales, right? Let's get the expected what? Expected sales. Expected sales. Expected sales. So when you are giving probability, don't forget you determine the expected sales, or if it is fixed cost, expected fixed cost. If it is variable cost, expected variable cost. Class. So the first one is alpha, beta, right? Then what? Gamma. Class. So if this is established, class, right? The first probability is 0.6, right? For alpha. You say 0.6, please, are you with your calculator? 0.6 times 2000 plus 0.3 times 2200 plus 0.1 because it's probability. So they may sell it at this, they may not sell it as the expected sales, right? At this. So what do we have?
Everything
Class.
is 2019 naira.
2019 naira, right? Is this correct? 2019 naira, right?
Yes, sir.
So,
Correct.
okay, thank you. So you need to determine the expected sales. Don't forget that the question says profit or loss using traditional approach, right? Using traditional approach as well as what? Activity-based costing. For you to do that, you need to get your sales. But if your sales is given to you in the question without probability, just go ahead and sharply and move ahead, right? But in this case now, the sales is attached to probability. So that is why we need to determine the expected sales. Then we will now use the sales to minus your direct material, direct labor, your overhead, then you get your profits, right? You do the same thing using traditional as well as absorption costing. Quickly. Now, the next one we have what do we have? 0.5 times 2000. 0.5 times 2000 plus 0.3 times 2200 plus 0.2 times 2250. Class, what do we have?
2110.
2110.
2110. 2010, right? Now,
No,
what next?
2110, not 0110.
Okay, one like this.
Yes, sir.
2110.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know, this is sales. You can see this is what you are calculating is 2090 naira per unit. You can see this is 2090 naira per unit. So this is what 2090 naira per unit. Let's quickly go back to the question. You will see that it is per unit given to you in the question. So you need to determine the total sales. Now let's go back. You can see that also the company is considering the pricing of three products because the sales price means selling price. This sales price is the selling price. So the selling price is 2000 naira, 2000 naira per unit. How many units did they sell? Right? You can see the logic. So when you get your expected sales, you multiply it by the what? By the unit. So you get sales. Right? Now, and that is the logic in PM. You need to understand that as well. So 2000 class, 2090 naira per unit, right? The sales is 2090 naira per unit, expected sales times, what is the unit produced? 20,000, right? So what is the sales, class? What is the sales? What is the sales? What is the unit produced?
12,500.
12,500.
Okay. What is the total sales, class? What is the total sales?
Forty-one.
Alpha is 41,800,000
41,800,000.
for
Okay,
Alpha.
41,800,000. Interesting. So next,
Uh,
what do we have?
for Beta is 26,375,000 naira.
36 million.
26, 26, 26,
Okay,
26,
26. Okay,
uh,
26 million.
26,375,000.
375,000.
375,000.
Now, let me give you one. Let me go back to that question. Let me go back to that question. Let me give you another worst case scenario. PM is, you need to understand something here. Class, when you are given, pay attention. Please, pay attention. This is sales price per unit, right? Then, if it is attached to probability, you get the expected sales. You get the expected sales for each of the products. That is why you multiply, you add, you multiply, you add. You add, you multiply, you add everything. Now, it is 2000 naira per unit. Class, some question may be so wicked that, please, the reason why we multiply it by 20,000 is because your production is still the same thing as your sales. Sometimes your sales unit will be different from your production. So when you want to multiply it by the sales unit. Don't go and multiply it by the production. No, don't say because if IB said it is per unit, then you go and multiply it by the production. It is possible for you to produce 20,000 units and you may not sell the whole 20,000 units. Is that not so? It is possible. But in this question, they said when you produce, you sell the 20,000 units. That is why production is still the same thing as sales. Class. Now, that is my explanation there. Okay, let me go back to this part. Okay, equals to the next one is I expect you to have calculated this. So 0.7 times, what do we have here? 1,600 plus 0.2 times 1,700, right? Plus 0.1 times 1,800. Class, what do we have? What is the expected sales price? What is the expected sales price, class?
1,640.
Okay. 1,000.
640.
Okay, 640. Okay, good. 1,640 per unit. So what is the sales unit? It's still the same thing as production because that is what is
5,000.
given to us. 5,000. Good. So what do we have?
8,200,000.
Okay, 8 million. Please confirm that first figure if it is correct, please. This first figure here, this 2019 naira and times this 20,000 units. Please confirm if it is correct. If it is correct, we'll move on.
It is correct, sir.
Okay, that's fine. So the question says that we should determine what? Profit or loss using what? Activity-based costing. You can see profit or loss that will arise, implementation of activity-based costing approach and traditional costing approach. Class, I will determine the one of traditional approach, or I can determine the one of activity-based costing approach. Then you do the one of what? You do the one of traditional costing approach and send to the platform. So that we are above the time already, right? I'm also tired. So now let's determination.
Don't be tired, sir. The Lord is your strength.
Thank you. Sadeco Nigeria Limited, right? Determination of profits or loss using, let me use activity-based costing here. So you can use the other method, which is traditional approach to determine the profit. Send it to the platform immediately after this class. Activity-based costing. Okay? Please, presentation in PM matters a lot. I beg you with God, with everything. Please, your presentation, all these things, they can just give you one mark. You write headings, 1 mark. And it's part of mark. Oh. If you think it's not mark, okay. Oh. Never see person wey score 49. Just 1 mark. So that's why it's very important, right? Now, okay, alpha. So, how do we do our profit or loss? Sales, right? Sales. So what is the sales? We've already calculated the sales as 41,800,000. The next one is 26,375,000. The next is what? 8,200,000, right? 8,200,000, right? 8,200,000. Class. So you just bring in, this is activity-based costing, right? All those direct material costs under activity-based costing, right? Under the activity-based costing, you just direct material, direct labor. Direct material and direct labor will remain the same, both activity-based costing and traditional approach. The only thing that will change is the overhead cost because of different basis of absorption of overhead, right? So bring in the direct material cost and the labor cost. Just copy. Direct material, direct labor, overhead, everything, gbogbo ti gbogbo. copy everything, cost, bring it down. Let's bring it down to this place, right? Right? So give me the difference. What is the less? Let me put less here so that I will not stress myself. Less. So what do we have, class? Figure. Minus it, minus it, minus it. Give me figure. Oh, figure. So we can go. Minus it. What do you have? What is the profit? Profits or loss? Profit or loss? What do we have? Precious, I like that your voice. Please give me figure. Make man no give me figure.
For
15 million for Alpha.
Na
15
lie,
million.
na lie.
This gender bias, sir. This is what we call
No,
gender
no,
bias.
like this. Wait, like this, I'm
Gender
tired. So
bias.
I need
Oh,
cool voice.
oh, oh. Now man, they do man bad thing, no.
It's fine, it's fine. Okay, just give me figure so I will complete it.
10,722,500 naira.
Okay, 10,722,500.
500 naira.
Good. Naira. Thank you so much. Figure. Make man no give me figure. Oh. My head just dey calm just now. Ah, so you can see that PM is interesting, right? Yeah, it's interesting. Just understand the basis. Please don't assume that you understand it, right? Go back to the video, watch it again. On the material, please, if you are here to get your material, please, it is not the money. See, I'm not after that your 2,000 naira. What I'm after is that your knowledge. Is that you must pass PM. See, go and tell your village people, oh, it's IB that is taking you PM. You must do what? You must pass them. God pass them. You must pass them, right? You must pass PM. Is that not so? So please, please give me figure. Better, give me figure. Give me figure. Give me figure.
8,952,500 naira.
Okay. 8,952,500. Next figure.
700,000.
700,000.
700,000. So, positive, right?
Yeah,
Is it
profit.
positive? Ah, is it positive? This should be negative. Oh, you see 6 million away. 6 plus 6, 8, 9. Ah,
the gamma
your cost is more than your sales now.
the gamma is negative.
Thank you. The gamma is negative. Thank you. So, class, do the one of traditional approach. Still just copy everything. Just copy everything. Still the same thing. Just copy the cost. Bring in your direct material, direct labor, your overhead cost for traditional approach. Bring everything, remove it, get your profit, and send to the platform class. So the last question there before we go. Is just a theory, right? So when you check your notes, you will see the theory part of that, and we've explained that several times, right? We've explained that several times. State reason why activity-based costing approach may be preferred to traditional approach costing approach in modern manufacturing. See, even without looking at anything, this question, na bonus, this thing. You don't need to just put down. You already understand traditional approach and all these things. Then you move on
Sir,
with that.
please, can you scroll down? Can you scroll down, please? Sorry, to
Let's
the
move
last
on.
part.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
Do you buy? Wait. Do you buy the material?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Now I can scroll down. Don't worry, I can scroll down. Should I scroll up again? So what is the last figure? The profit, right? Where is it? Please do the traditional and send to the platform. Distinguished professional colleagues, um, congratulations, right? Because PM is walkover for you, right? And please don't assume that you already know it. Go back to it, go and watch the video, download it or watch it online. And on the in the material, there are so many questions there. There are so many questions. There are two questions, I think two. Okay, yeah, it remaining two questions, right? Now, you can imagine you know next gen last diet. This question, this question two was tested, similar question that was tested last diet. You can see, and I didn't even know. I already bring out this question before I saw that past question. I was like, it's still the same thing, though. Imagine you know next gen. Do you know what we do at next gen professional? We will go and look for past questions that student perform woefully. Performance was below average in the past 5 years. We bring it out. We'll look at ACCA, we'll bring it out. We'll look at other tests, we'll bring it out, we'll put it as our questions, right? Because Acca may likely repeat that question. So that is why don't joke with what we give you. Don't joke with our material or don't joke with what we give you, class. And that is all, right? So maybe in our next class, we'll try to solve one question more, which is this question two. Then we will now move on to another topic. We'll move on to fresh topic. Then our next topic is our next topic is cost volume profit analysis. We'll look at the single product, we'll look at the multiple product, we'll look at past questions as well, right? In our next class. No, after we solve one of these questions, we'll look at it. Class, should in case you have question, unmute your mic and ask your question.